Welcome to the studio. Today I'm going to talk about something that's been on my mind for a while. So I've had a few knife makers and customers in the past ask me why there's such a price difference between my steak knives and my chef knives. Now the answer is quite simple. The chef knives take so much longer to make, so much longer. And the steak knives, they were really designed from the ground up to be more reasonably priced. So to take this back, all of the knives that I make, they're designed to come in at a certain price point. Now I wanted the steak knives to be more affordable, allowing people to buy more than one, so they could buy 2, 4, 6, or whatever, so they could form a set. So to get these knives under that €100 price point, I've had the profiles cut by a laser. Now this opens up the debate as to whether these are still handmade or not. So let me start with my answer to this debate. Yes, they're still handmade. So the profiling or the shaping of a blade really doesn't take much skill at all, but it does take a lot of time. And I mean, like most blades, they will come in either a strip or a sheet of steel. The tracing out the shape and grinding to size, it just isn't difficult. Anybody could do it, which is why I've chosen to get mine done, for the steak knives at least, via a laser. This allows me to concentrate more of my time on the actual skill bits, the knife making. So to be clear, it can easily be done by hand, but that extra labour needs to be accounted for. And it's a much, much harder job to sell a single steak knife over that €100 threshold. If it was a hobby, I'd be doing it all by hand, but it's not, it's my career. And the career needs to pay the bills and put foods on the table, etc. Now there are obviously other skills involved in getting a blank cut. Firstly, you need to create a 2D CAD file for the laser cutter to work off. And I mean, CAD skills, even basic skills, can take a long time to master. But once you've got that done, you'll have your file, which can be used indefinitely. It contains the profile shape, the exact dimensions, all of the lines of your knife, or of the blank that's to be cut, and that can be cut over and over again. So big commercial laser cutters, they're also pretty cool. The one that I use costs around €500,000 and cuts pretty quickly. So let's roll the tape and have a look at that machine in action. So after the cut, I'm left with a bunch of these. Now to be clear, these aren't knives. They have the same profile or shape as a knife, but they're the same thickness throughout. They've got no bevels, and they're still a long way from being a cutting tool. But from this point on, everything is done by hand. So the burrs need to be removed, holes need to be reamed, obviously the bevels need to be ground in, and that's where the real skill comes into play. And there's still soft metal too, so they still need to be heat treated, otherwise it'll never hold an edge. So it's very far away from being a knife. So we're probably about 3 or 4 hours now into the process since being laser cut. And then we move on to things like the hand sanding, the fit and finish of the handle, the final sharpening. I personally like to make mosaic pins for each knife, and I use a variety of liners. So all these things can take time. So all in, each knife will be in my hand for around probably 5 or 6 hours. That's for each steak knife. Now a chef knife of mine, on the other hand, for example, which hasn't been cut via a laser, will probably be in my hand for around about 8, 9, possibly 10 hours. So you can see how by choosing to effectively outsource that unskilled part, I can make a huge saving on my labour time. So is it cheating? I think as long as you're being upfront about your process, you aren't cheating anyone. I mean, if you would use a grinder to grind a bevel rather than use a hand file, is that cheating? There's this great romanticism about makers in the past making beautiful things with very, very few tools. But I'm pretty sure that, I mean, for example, if the Romans had access to power tools, I'm pretty sure they would have used them. So I'm in this business to make the best knives that I can, not really to hold on to traditions. There's plenty of other people that do that far better than me, and it's still a very important thing to happen, but it's just not what I do. So what do you think? Comment below, it'd be really good to hear your thoughts as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching.